All right, all right. This is episode 1. Now, I would call this the 4th of July special. However, this is the 5th of July. So, let's just call this the 5th of July special. So, yeah, 4th of July was yesterday. Had it was a good day. The birthday of America. The signing of the Declaration of Independence. Very nice. Very cool. But, there are some things about 4th of July and the whole experience that aren't always the most fun. Like buying fireworks. Man, that's always for me at least, it seems really trivial. Because most of the time, people think that fireworks are, so like different. But they're not. Fireworks are for the most part all the same. Maybe different colors or different sizes or whatever. But it always baffles me how long people take to decide which fireworks they want. I mean, the only reason I bring this up is because yesterday it was nothing but fireworks on social media and all that, but also because there's a fundraiser that I did where I volunteered at a fireworks store, like a warehouse where they sold fireworks, and there were a good amount of people who maybe took it a little seriously. I would go so far as to say they didn't have to. They wasted their time. But it was an interesting experience working at that store. Aside from all you know, the whole fact of it shouldn't take that long to buy fireworks, just in and out, bing bang boom, that whole sort of thing. But it was really funny because I worked July 3rd, the day before the big holiday, where a lot of people were buying their fireworks, and it was crazy because so many people were surprised when they walked in. They're like, wow, look at all these, there's so many people in here. And in my head I thought, well, yeah, because this is like the only place to buy fireworks, and tomorrow's the 4th of July. It's like they forgot that everyone celebrates 4th of July in America. I don't know. Maybe they thought it was one of those things. It's a giant store on the freeway, so I don't think a lot of people would miss it. But there was even this one mom who came in with her daughter and was like, "Wow, there's so many people here." And her little daughter, who must have been like 4 or 5 years old, was like, "Well, duh." Like, she literally goes, "Well, it's 4th of July tomorrow, Mom." And I was like, that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. That sort of cynical nature instilled into the young ones. But anyway, also when I was working, so I worked as a greeter, like a Walmart greeter, but for fireworks. And so I would open the door for people, say hello and welcome and all that stuff. And there's this one older guy who was walking up. He was really happy, good for him, but it was odd because he like the first thing he said to me, like, he didn't even say hello or anything. He was like, "I guess there's no smoking in here, huh?" And then he, like, as a joke, and he made this laugh that was like kind of maybe the most annoying laugh I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I don't think anyone would have laughed as hard as he did at that joke. He goes, "Oh man, I feel bad trying to imitate it because it'll be really loud." So he's like, "I guess there's no smoking in here, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, that's correct." And he like, it was like a one tone laugh, kind of like that. It sounded like a machine gun. But I feel bad for people who have laughs like that are super annoying and obnoxious because they can't really control it. But I immediately hated this guy. So yeah, he went in there, and oh my god, this is what I don't like about this guy. He did the same thing again, but with a different joke. These aren't even like dad jokes. They're just stupid. Like that one, the no smoking one, whatever. I'll give him a pass because he's old and probably thought it was funny. Um, and so when he was walking out with all his fireworks, oh my god. So I was still holding. I held the door for people when they walked out, and he I'm like, hey, thanks for coming, and he walks through the door and he looks down at my feet and he's like, hey, there's a doorstop right there. And I look down and there's a doorstop right there. And he's like, he does it again. He goes, ah! And this guy's so old. Like, not really so old. He's maybe in his like 50s or 60s. And he's just like, looks back at me and laughs and he walks out. I'm like, what? Because I'm not going to hold the door open because A, it's Texas and it's hot as hell. And B, what? Oh man, that guy, I hate that guy so much. I hate him. But it was a neat experience. Just to see all those people buy fireworks and have that watch them all take forever. But 4th of July was still fun. I had a good time. I went over to a friend's house, had fun, all that 4th of July shenanigans. Well, to stray away from all this festive stuff, I'm just going to go right into this video that I saw the other day. It made me laugh very hard. Now, first, I want to preface this by saying it's a religious video. It's by a church. I mean, the video is from the church's Instagram page. However, when I heard this line, it made me laugh so hard. Like, so hard. And I don't mean any disrespect to people who find truth in this clip, but just take a listen.
Can you imagine growing up with a big brother who's Jesus? River.
Oh my god. Oh wow. So this page is Parkway Fellowship, so it's probably just some church near me, and it was a sponsored video. But so yeah, this guy goes, "Could you imagine growing up with a big brother who's Jesus?" and that's an interesting angle. I haven't heard that before from any church, advertisements. I haven't heard the whole Big Brother thing at all. And to be honest, I think I know why. Because no. Like, who would want to have Jesus as their big brother? Like, I mean, people with big brothers already live in their shadows enough. Like, they live in, hopes of being as good as their brother. And then he's Jesus. Like, hey, your brother can walk on water. Can you? Well, I mean, I got a B in science class. Well, your brother can turn water into wine. Can you do that? I like Coca-Cola. I mean, he also had that little laugh at the end where he's like, it was Jesus? Like, it's even like, he even thinks it's a funny premise to go on. Like, hey, your big brother is Jesus. But, churches will do some interesting things to entice some members, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why he thought Jesus as a big brother would be a good idea, but it was just really funny to me when I first heard that. Like, what? Why would I want Jesus as my big brother? All right, next I want to talk about kind of recent-ish news that all the Toys R Us stores uh, closed finally. Like they closed their last stores, which is kind of sad. I mean, obviously it was made into a big meme on like Instagram and whatever, just because anything that happens is made into a meme nowadays. But I mean, when you think about it, Toys R Us was like it was like Eden for me as a kid. Like I would either just want to go and look around or like get something because they had everything. I mean, as a kid, all you really want are toys and video games, and that's it. And then like a bike, which and they had all that stuff. It was like I'm telling you, it was like the promised land for children because it had everything. And I got so many things from there as a kid, a bunch of Lego sets and toys and video games and stuff that like imagining now that like my kids probably won't have a Toys R Us. They'll probably just have like Amazon toys or whatever the fuck. It's kind of sad to think like, man, my kids won't have that like, that feeling of like, oh my gosh, we're going to, heaven, otherwise known as Toys R Us, to see all the toys, and like to look at them in, face to face. But hey, that's just how it is. I mean, toys. It's sad, but the last time we went to Toys R Us was to get like a Lego set, and before that, and that was like, I would say longer, but it was really like a year ago. But before that, I hadn't gone in a while. So, I mean, I guess people just stopped needing to go. There's Target and Walmart and stuff that has toys and everything. But it is still kind of sad because Toys R Us was just like a happy place. And now they're all gone. It's probably like how Blockbuster was. I mean, I was a kid. I was like a little kid when Blockbuster uh, closed all of them. But I remember going frequently, and it probably sucked. It was basically like a library for movies, which sounds awesome, as as now that I'm older. But when I went there as a kid, I would just like look around at the covers and stuff. But yeah, I'm sure it's similar to that. All the people who frequented there have to find somewhere else to get their toys. But speaking of movies, next thing I want to talk about is some guilty pleasures. I mean, it was just going through my mind now that it's summer and I have a lot of free time. I've been watching a lot of movies like on Netflix and stuff like that. And I thought of like all the guilty pleasures, like all the bad movies that you love that are admittedly not loved by other people. And I want to talk about mine because I have quite a bit, to be honest. I mean, it's really just stuff I saw when I was younger that kind of nostalgia, I guess. But there's also just straight up things that I still like and will watch that other people find bad. First, I mean, when I think of guilty pleasures, the first thing that comes to my head is Paul Blart Mall Cop with Kevin James. Because like I saw that when I was like 10 years old, and it's probably the funniest movie I've ever seen in my whole life. I mean, even now, I haven't seen it in a long time. But just thinking about freaking the mustache and the Segway and all the funny things in that movie, man, it's so great. It's so great. Um, and even the second one that came out like a couple years ago, I love that one too. I'm not afraid to say it. Love them both. Love the series. I I I mean, when I watched it, I had no idea that it was just Die Hard in a shopping mall. But then when I watched Die Hard, I was like, oh wow. The first thing that came into my head when I watched Die Hard was, oh, Paul Blart is just this, but in a shopping mall. So also, I don't know. That's the main one I think because like obviously it's such a like a meme, and also people think it's such a shitty movie. which whatever. But I hold a keen place in my heart for Paul Blart Mall Cop and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. Yeah, for sure. I will watch those any time of the week. Um, They're also the movie Now You See Me and Now You See Me Too with the magicians, and they're like robbing the bank and everything. Like, I guess critics, they, they're not too good to them, but how can you not like people who are doing magic and you know robbing things? That's just a perfect. They're heist movies, but with magicians. Like what? How do you top that? That's a great premise, and I love both of those movies, man. Now You See Me and Now You See Me Too. Great, absolutely great. I'm not. I mean, I am obviously guilty because everyone thinks they're bad movies. However, I will never pass up Woody Harrelson doing magic. That's just something you can't pass up. You can't do it. So yeah, I was just thinking about guilty pleasures, and I wanted to talk about my love of Paul Blart and Now You See Me. There's plenty of other guilty pleasures that I have, but those two are probably the biggest ones that I think about because, like, normal people and movie critics just find them terrible, but I will always watch them. Okay, next segment is things that annoy me right now. I don't have any music for this. I wish I did, because there's probably going to be a segment for every single episode that I do, because there are a lot of things that annoy me, and this week they just kept coming to me. I just wrote them all down, and now I'm going to talk about them. So first thing, I wrote down Blinky Wave, which doesn't really make a lot of sense out of context, but I'll explain it. So have you ever seen those people that instead of waving by like moving their hand side to side like any normal person does, they like open and close their hand? Because I don't know why they do it. It's like when people make that person's talking too much signal with their hands, that they do that motion to say hello instead of moving your hand back and forth like you're taught when you're 0 years old. They just like blink their hands open and closed, and I saw that once, and I'll never forget it because it just irked me in a weird way. Like it shouldn't, because it's really just someone saying hi, but when they do the whole like open and close their hand thing, I do not like that one bit. I would never be friends with anyone who waved like that. Second thing, I've got nerd opinions. Very cool, very cool. So nerd opinions, also not very sensical out of context. But you know how like I guess nerds or people who like watch a ton of movies or whatnot are very adamant in like wriggling in their opinion some way or another to the conversation. Like if someone's talking about Lord of the Rings, for example, you'll be like, yeah, I just rewatched Lord of the Rings the other day, and I I really liked it. I love those movies. They're all really good. And then some guy next to you will just completely out of nowhere go, yeah, but those Hobbit movies sucked, huh? Man, they were much worse than the originals, huh? Man, how much do people love saying the phrase, yeah, it wasn't as good as the first one, or not as good as the original? Man, how much do people love saying that phrase? It gets on my nerves so much when people just go, like, willy-nilly, just without thinking, man, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Like, huh? Did I ask? I don't ever remember asking you if you thought it was better. If I did go, what would you think about it? Like Incredibles 2, for example. Pretty recent movie. And a lot of my friends saw it because we all grew up watching the original Incredibles, and now we're watching the new one and everything. And so I'll ask my friends, "Hey, you see Incredibles 2? How'd you like it?" And if they're like that, and if they're secretly not my friend, they'll go, "It wasn't as good as the first one." What? Why? Why? That's the last thing I want to hear when I ask someone what they think, because A, it's the laziest answer you could give, and B, uh, be a little more descriptive, dude. If I ask you, hey, what'd you think about this movie? I don't want to hear, uh, it wasn't as good as the first one. And if the first one's really good, how am I supposed to know if you like the second one or not? Is it just barely less good? Is it barely worse? Is it, you know, really bad? Come on. Give me some substance to work with. If I ask you if you like what you thought about a movie, I want to hear more than just, it wasn't as good as the first one. Yeah, I never say that shit. Even if I believe it, I'll tell people like, it was alright, it was decent, or like, I didn't really like it that much at all. Uh, you know, I'll say something. At least I'll say something before I say it wasn't as good as the first one or wasn't as good as the original. Like, man, how much do people love to say that freaking phrase, man? It makes me so mad when I hear that. Especially when I didn't ask directly for that answer. Uh, well, got a little hot there for a second. I'm cooled down now. I'm cooled down. But yeah, nerd opinions. It's just like, hey, I didn't really ask if you liked the Green Lantern from 2011 with Ryan Reynolds. We were just talking about Justice League. I didn't ask for that at all, dude. I just want to talk about Ben Affleck, man. I don't want to talk about fucking shitty 2011 movies, bro. I just want to talk about Ben Affleck. Sometimes I just want to talk about Ben Affleck, alright? That's all I'm saying here. That's all if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that sometimes I just want to talk about Ben Affleck. I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't. Alright, next thing. Reporters. So, TV reporters, people on the news. Why do they all talk the same? Hey, why do they all talk the same? You know, as people, as humans on this earth, you'd expect, you know, since we all come from different people and different places and different backgrounds and different families, and we all have different, you know, DNA and all different genetic makeup, you'd think, hey, everyone's voice should sound different, right? And they do, you know, except I guess when you go to reporter school, like I guess they teach you to make certain inflections and tones with your voice to where you sound like this. You know, like it's something like I'm kind of fascinated by how similar they all sound. Like you'll have a reporter like, today we come to you from Phoenix, Arizona, with a report of a chupacabra that attacked an unknowing mother who is walking her kids home from school. You know? And I just did that voice, and it sounded exactly like every other reporter because they all sound the same, and it's really easy. You just kind of lead your voice and talk like there's news. It's so weird to me. Like, can't people just be like, all right, we're coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where an Apache Indian just built a house. I don't know if Apaches are in New Mexico. I just made that up. And also, I don't think it'd be news if they built a house I just try to think of something and say it normally. You know, like I don't. Is it because like it attracts people, or is it just that's just how it's supposed to be? Like, we're coming to you now from Wichita, Kansas, where the river just turned white for a second. We are coming to you now from Portland, Oregon, where a cow just died. We are coming to you now from Albany, New York, where nothing has happened. Because nothing happens in Albany, New York. Nothing happens there. But that city belongs somewhere else, probably. But yeah, it's just weird to think about it. Like, do they like take voice lessons to all sound the same, or it's so weird to think about. Anyway, next thing, Korean barbecue. Now, I've never had Korean barbecue, and here's why. So many people. I mean, Korean barbecue, you know, you got the whole America's a melting pot of cultures thing, and you got a whole bunch of different exotic restaurants all around the country, which is great. I love Asian food, don't get me wrong. I mean, last episode I just talked for a few minutes about what I order when I eat Chinese food. Now, I don't have a problem with Korean food either, nor Koreans. But the thing about Korean barbecue that makes me not want to eat it is the fact that I don't want to cook that shit myself. I go to a restaurant. Here's why I go to a restaurant. I go to a restaurant because I don't want to cook at home. That's why I go to a restaurant. Now, if I go to a restaurant and see that, hey, they're giving me raw food to cook at my table by myself. And some people think, oh wow, that's just like how it is in Korea. I'm sure it is. And I'm sure that's how restaurants are in Korea. And so many people love it just because it's a thing. So kuda, to just do Korean barbecue because it's a thing. If you could give me a Korean barbecue restaurant where it's all already cooked, if it's all cooked when it comes to my table, I am down like Charlie Brown. But if you make me cook my own shit, I don't want to do that because A, I can't cook that well. You make me cook and then pay for it. What if it tastes like shit? What if it tastes horrible? What if I spent all this money to have a good, Korean meal and I don't know how to cook Korean food, dude? I don't know how to cook it. Maybe I'll just go with my Korean friend and have them cook it for me and feel like a bum, Feel like some guy who made their friend cook for them. It's just the whole system, the whole way they do it at restaurants where they make you cook your own food is not for me, man. It's completely against the reason I go to a restaurant in the first place. I wouldn't want to cook my own food. I want other people to cook my food. That's why I'm there, right? And I'm sure it tastes delicious because Korean food is really good. But I don't want to do all that work. I mean, crawfish are bad enough where I have to, shell it and then eat it. Now I have to cook it and then eat it? I have to cook it? Like, I bet cooking probably takes the most time when you're at one of those restaurants. Like, people who aren't Korean that go there are probably like, is it done? Is it, how do you tell? Like, I don't even know if it's done yet. Is it good? I think I, touched it with my mud fingers or something. It doesn't look good. I think it needs more time. And then they take it off and it's undercooked or overcooked or just not cooked the way it should be cooked because they made the customer cook it. Bye. I mean, if they come and cook it at your table like a hibachi restaurant, I'm cool with that because they're cooking it. They know what they're doing. They'll get the food right because they work there and they get paid for this. I am not getting paid shit for cooking food that I'm going to eat. Cooking their food. If I cook their food, I should get paid or something. But I don't want to eat at a restaurant that I have to cook myself. It's completely backwards. It's completely backwards. I don't know. Maybe I'll go. If I go to eat Korean barbecue, it's gonna be at a Korean barbecue restaurant that, with food that's cooked for you by the people that work there. But yeah, I, I'd rather just keep going to Carrabba's and get my food cooked for me. All right, next thing, the cursive A. Again, we're really going out of context here. But the cursive A is something that I was reminded of, and this might be the most annoying thing on this list. Now, I don't know what sort of mastermind created the cursive alphabet, but I do know this. Why in the world would you make the cursive uppercase A look the exact same as the cursive lowercase a, or just the the lowercase print A for that matter? Like the cursive uppercase A is just a big lowercase a. This isn't the letter O. This isn't the letter Z or S. Okay? This is the letter A, which in the print alphabet, looks like an uppercase A and different than the lowercase a. But then in cursive, when you change it to look the exact same as the lowercase a, how am I supposed to know, like, if someone means an uppercase a in like a word? Maybe they just wrote it big. Or what if someone makes the lowercase cursive a little bigger, and I think it's like out of place because it's an uppercase a? Why couldn't they, whoever invented cursive, why couldn't they think of a more creative or accurate way to write the letter A in uppercase? Like, all you really have to do is just draw a print uppercase A with a little tail at the end of it, and then when you're done writing the word, you just cross the A. You just cross the A like you cross your T's and you dot the I's, and the J's, or not the J's, in cursive, or the lowercase j's maybe? I think the lowercase j's are dotted. I don't remember. I don't write in cursive because I'm not in third grade. But if I saw someone's name written with an uppercase A, and I thought, wow, that looks really lame because that looks like a lowercase a that's just bigger than the rest of the letters. And it's a really mundane and trivial thing for me to get riled up about. But, I mean, if you're going to create a whole way of writing, make that shit creative. Make it accurate. Make it better than just bigger versions of the lowercase letters. Just make it better. Make it better. That's all I'm asking. That's all I ask. I probably won't ever write in cursive except for when I'm writing my own name, which, thank the Lord, doesn't start with the letter A. Ooh, wow. I didn't think I was going to get as heated about that, but man, like I said, that's maybe the most annoying thing on this list. All right, next item of business. We got Harry Potter houses. Now, for people who aren't invested in the Harry Potter world, okay, or they, don't watch the movies or read the books. In Harry Potter, there are 4 houses at Hogwarts, at the school where they go for magic, okay? There's Gryffindor, which is the one that Harry Potter's in. There's Slytherin, which is the one where all the bad kids are in. And then there's 2 others, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. Sidork, but let me go on. So, in the entire series, all of the main characters that are a part of the story of Harry Potter through all 8 movies, through all 7 books, okay, through the whole series, maybe not the books, I don't know, I've only read like half the books, but in at least for all of the movies, okay, all of the main characters that are part of the story, all the characters that matter are in either Gryffindor or Slytherin. And in the entire series, there's only one person throughout the whole series from Hufflepuff that is important to the story, and he dies. So what bothers me is the fact that people in the real world who, want to be in a Hogwarts house pick anything other than Gryffindor or Slytherin. Like, hey, why the hell would you want to be in Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw? They're useless. You're not going to be important at all. You're just going to be like a normal kid. And maybe you want that, but most people are like, I'm loyal, patient, and fair. That's why I'm in Hufflepuff. No, not at all. Not at all. You're in Hufflepuff because you like the color yellow. Or maybe you like the animal, the badger. Or whatever the hell animal is Hufflepuff. I think it's a badger. It's just odd to me that people would rather be in the house that does nothing and doesn't contribute to the story at all over the really cool house that saves the school, Gryffindor, which is probably the best one, and Slytherin, who are the cool like sly villains who are mean and whatever. You either Gryffindor or Slytherin or you're not at Hogwarts. I mean, they don't even really need Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw because they don't do anything. Like, they're just like the kids that no one knows, the kids that like don't have friends except like each. I don't know. They're like the losers of of Hogwarts, pretty much, and that's probably that's the funniest thing about when people like want to be in Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw in real life, because it's fiction and you're an adult, and B, those are the lamest houses you can choose. And it's not like these people got sorted by the sorting hat from Harry Potter. You just picked a shirt and you wore it and you like picked a color. I don't understand why people wouldn't choose Gryffindor or Slytherin, the only houses that are relevant in Hogwarts, and then choose the houses with no interesting people in it. It's just it's interesting to me why people would do that. The World Cup. The World Cup's going on right now, and I couldn't care less about it, to be honest. I mean, I'm not a sports fan. I have a lot of friends who are, and, I'm glad they're enjoying it and rooting for their teams. But I personally am not a huge sports fan, so I'm not watching the World Cup. And there are a lot of people out there who aren't sports fans that are watching the World Cup and wasting their time because they don't watch the sport, but they're still rooting for a team that they think is going to win. Like, some random white guy you'll go up to who's watching the World Cup, who's, not from South America at all, will be like, you know what, I'm really rooting for Brazil. And it's like, hey, you're not Brazilian, you don't know anyone from Brazil, and you're not a soccer fan. What are you doing? He's wasting his time. I'm not saying that the World Cup is a waste of time by any means. People can like sports, and they should if they, choose to do so. But if you don't usually watch soccer and you watch the World Cup just because you want to be in on all the whatever, that's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. I mean, of course, everyone out there watching the World Cup who digs soccer and is rooting for the team that they want to represent, even if they don't win, hey, that's all good. That's all great. But if you haven't watched soccer since the last World Cup, what you doing? What you doing? Wasting time. Let's be honest. If you're not a sports fan and you don't watch soccer, and you're watching the World Cup just so that you know what people are talking about, you coulda, and you're wasting your time. All right, next thing, LeBron James news. LeBron James joined the Lakers, or signed with the Lakers. And like I said, not a huge sports fan. I couldn't care less. But there are so many people who do care a lot, and other people who really don't care less but think they care a lot. Like pretty much everyone in California right now, regardless of whether they're rooting for the Clippers or whatever other team besides the Lakers is in California, definitely stopped rooting for that team and started rooting for the Lakers the moment they saw LeBron James with that yellow and purple ugly ass jersey. Yeah, yellow and purple together. It's really ugly. Anyway, I feel bad for people in Los Angeles because all they're gonna hear about is how much they love LeBron and how much how good the Lakers are and whatnot and all this stuff. And I couldn't feel more sympathy. I couldn't feel more sorry for the people out there who don't care, who don't watch sports and don't care. I mean, of course, there are people out there who, they love LeBron, and they'll follow him anywhere. I mean, there are people here in Houston, Texas, who are like, yeah, Lakers, let's go. LeBron's my favorite guy. And it's like, I mean, yeah, he's the best, but you've never rooted for the Lakers in your life. And so, to sit here and watch all these idiots just who've never rooted for the Lakers, just be like, hey, I'm a huge Lakers fan. I've been a huge Lakers fan since like the 90s, man. Push, get away, get out of here. Just leave, just leave. Just go play basketball yourself. Like, who? Like that's such a bandwagon thing. That's like the most bandwagon thing you could do all week. Is to be like, yeah, bro, LeBron's on my team, man. Our team, LA Lakers, let's go. What? Huh? Are you sure? Are you sure? You probably. And then there are the people that hate LeBron, like, man, I hate the Lakers. I've always hated the Lakers. I hate LeBron so much. He's such a cocky dude. I hate LeBron. Did I ask? If anyone comes up to me and tells me about basketball, and they're like, hey, I swear, if one person goes up to me and says, hey, did you know that LeBron signed with the Lakers? I would go, I didn't ask. See ya! That's what I'll say. I didn't ask. See ya! That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. Alright, that concludes things that annoy me right now. I know it was a bit of a longer segment this time, but hey, the world's annoying. The world's an annoying place, and you know what? There's always going to be things that annoy me right now. So yeah, next thing I'm going to pull up is the segment I like to call Delusional People on Twitter. But I really need a theme song for these things. All right, so first thing, it's by a profile called Malika or Malika. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but at Malika. That's probably how it's said, Malika. So this post is, so there's a video, and the caption reads, respect yourself, comma, respect others, and respect your environment. Be cool, sunglasses, smiling face emoji, and don't litter. And the video is, it's inspiring if you're a 10-year-old. So it's this video of these two Asian girls. They're wearing, like work attire, like a skirt and a dress shirt, and they're standing next to a motorcycle. And this car drives by, and throws out, um, it throws out a water bottle of the window. And you think, oh man, this guy's littering. But then one of the girls who's working, saves the day. She kicks the water bottle into the car through the window that they just threw the bottle out of. Now, it's very inspiring. It's a very taste of your own medicine, comeback kid sort of thing. Very inspiring. I will never litter again. But the thing about this video is, it's the most staged piece of garbage promotional material I've ever seen in my life. It is so stupid that anyone would think this is real. It baffles me. Okay, so first off, the car that the guy litters from. So these girls are like on the curb of the road that this car is driving by, and there's a good maybe 20-30 feet until the street starts. Now the car that litters and throws the bottle at him slows down, okay, drives close to the curb slowly, and throws the water bottle on the ground right next to him, and continues to drive slowly for maybe 10 seconds and moves at like a pace of 2 miles an hour until the superhero woman of Asia kicks the water bottle into this slow turtle ass moving car, and everyone around her cheers. This is like some sort of Lele Pons video. It's so bad, like how anyone would believe this is real. That shit probably took 1,000,000 tries to kick the water bottle back into the car. Or maybe it wasn't even real water bottle. Maybe it was CGI and they just edited her kicking a water bottle back into the car. Oh my gosh. But this random person found this video, Malika. She found this video, or maybe made it. If she made it, oh boy. But she probably found this video and was like, you know what? I'm going to take this video and post it on Twitter and inspire people to respect themselves, respect others, and respect the environment. I'm going to inspire them to be cool and to not litter. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to post a fake-ass Asian video of some girl kicking a water bottle into the car. Oh my god. And when she kicks the water bottle and it goes into the car through the passenger window, the car stops and puts its hazard lights on. What? Why the hell would any car slow down to throw litter out on the curb? Okay, if you did that, the cops would be able to get you much quicker. So any person in their right mind would go the same speed they're going and just throw it out casually and keep going that same speed. And also, if by some stretch of the imagination, some girl on her break from work saw a water bottle fly out of your car and managed to kick it back into your car, you wouldn't stop and put your hazard lights on. You'd keep going and maybe throw it out again. It's not like, oh my gosh. And let me look at the comments. First comment, football fever, thumbs up emoji, sunglasses with smiley face emoji. Another one, okay hand sign, goal. Oh my god. Paresh Patel comments, what an kick. Oh no. Safarin. What an kick. Oh, well, it's a good thing this thing only has 31 likes and 3 retweets. Retweets? Is it retweets or retweets? Oh my god. This makes me so mad. It's such an Instagram comedy sort of video where it's just the worst. It's just the worst. Oh, okay. Next thing I'm gonna cover on delusional people on Twitter is this. Now, again, this is another racially charged post that by no means I want to disrespect or anything at all. I perfectly respect anyone doing any sort of religion and posting about it on social media and being happy about it. This one, however, it it kind of struck a nerve with me because it made no sense whatsoever. There's a nice little comment and a nice little picture, but they don't go together at all. They don't go together at all. So here's what it is. So it's a pic. The comment is, first of all, it's kind of this. It's the annoying thing where people space out the letters and put one word in each line, which makes me really mad. It's just like, hey, just write down what you want to write, and don't put extra space in it, and don't make it harder to read, and just make a paragraph or a sentence or something like that, and don't try to be cute. So here's what it says. It says, being in someone's prayers is the purest form of real love. Or if you wrote it like a normal person, being in someone's prayers is the purest form of real love. Now that's nice. That's a nice little caption. However, the picture that this guy chose to go along with it is a bowl of fruit salad. It's a bowl with cubed kiwi, strawberries, peaches, I already said kiwi, and grapes, and cantaloupe, and pineapple. The picture he decided to go with the caption, being in someone's prayers is the purest form of real love, is a bowl of fruit salad. Now, if I saw this post and I knew this guy, I'd be like, hey dude, what the hell? Why can't you put a picture that matches the caption instead of posting a picture of fruit salad in a big bowl? And then to which he'd be like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'll delete this post and post a picture with like someone praying or something. Probably not, because to him, fruit salad is the embodiment of being in someone's prayers and the purest form of real love. Maybe this guy just really loves fruit salad and he prays about fruit salad or something. I have no explanation. I have no way to connect this picture to this caption. And what? There's no world. There's no way that a bowl of fruit salad connects to being in someone's prayers is the purest form of real love. There's no correlation. There's no connection between the two. You could play 6 degrees of separation and it'll take you like 5 to connect fruit salad to this tweet. All right? Now, there's only one comment on this post, and it just says, and they will never get to know. Oh, so delusional. Not even for like the whole prayer thing. It's totally fine and whatever, but no one's even addressing this fruit salad. No one's addressing it. I would tweet, but I don't want to seem disrespectful. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to talk about it and record myself being flustered by the fruit salad and the prayers tweet. Alright, so our last Twitter thing we're going to look at on this segment is going to be a page. This is a Twitter page. This is a profile on Twitter known as @irreplaceableones. Now, it's currently restricted, so if you publicly search up @irreplaceableones on Twitter, it's going to show this account has content that's temporarily restricted. Do you want to proceed? And if you click yes, what you're going to see is a profile picture that says ourselves and our posterity, a little quote from the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. And you're also going to see the title of the profile, which is "The White Race is Irreplaceable and Unerasable!" Exclamation point, grinning face, thumbs up emoji. And here's a little description. Oh my gosh, this might be the most delusional thing I've seen on Twitter in ever. So here's what it says as the description, as the little blurb to describe the white race is irreplaceable and unerasable Twitter page. Here's what it says. Man, I'm getting ready. I have to mentally prepare to read this. And if someone takes this out of context, I'll be very, very sad. It says, "We whites are the only true irreplaceable race because we've invented almost everything, built the greatest civilizations, and led the way to human salvation in space." Wow. This is so basically it's an alt-right racist white supremacist page on Twitter that is just all about oh my god, yeah, so it's just all about, you know, white supremacy and like hating other races and stuff like that. It's basically the Klan if it were a Twitter page. Now, I'm looking at this one post they had. They didn't post it, but they retweeted it. And this guy named Rams Paul tweeted out this. He says, "A reminder that there's plenty of room in Africa. There's no need for Europe or America to accept African immigrants." And it's a picture. It's one of those pictures where they like compare the sizes of continents and countries, and this one is basically just a whole bunch of countries jammed in like puzzle pieces to fit in to the continent of Africa, which is basically him trying to say keep the Africans in Africa and also I hate black people. And it's just like it's crazy to see this. Like it is just eye-opening. Like I knew like the people I follow on Twitter are like kind of left, you know, kind of liberal. So I don't see this stuff normally on Twitter. And I really had no idea it existed. It was quite the discovery to see so much like racism and shit like all just on Twitter. Like there's so much racist stuff that they talk about on this, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I'm trying to look for one of their posts where they say something, and it's crazy. Like here's one. They didn't post this, but it says like, oh my god, they retweeted this 4 days ago. Okay, this is what this tweet says, and I am not paraphrasing this at all. This is what it says. Anyone who has ever visited Somali areas of Minnesota, so basically anyone who's ever visited, the black populations in Minnesota or Maine, knows that they are not, just like us, in quotation marks. Their cognitive abilities, or lack thereof, lack of education or appreciation for things like Shakespeare or Bach, mark them as people who never value our culture. What? This is on Twitter. This is just posted, and I mean, thankfully it only has 6 likes and 1 retweet. But that's so crazy. That's so crazy that anyone would be so openly racist and insensitive on a public website where anyone can see the shit you say. It's so crazy. Oh my god, they retweeted this too. It says, "Which are you going to be? Hashtag Hitler was right." And it's a picture of a quote from Hitler that says, "Today we are the least loved people on earth. A world of foes is ranged against us, and the German must still today make up his mind whether he intends to be a free soldier or a white slave." And this, oh my god. I thought at first this was going to be a funny segment where I talk about how delusional and racist these people are on Twitter, but it's actually really serious and terrible. This thing has 81 likes and 80 retweets. There's 80 people who think that hashtag Hitler was right. That's crazy to me. This isn't even a joke. This isn't even a joking page or a satire thing. This isn't The Onion. Okay, this is straight up people who think that oh, that the white race is irreplaceable, which is just so crazy to me. It's so crazy. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Anyway. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's the one that I saw that like got me. Okay, so this is one of their tweets, "The white race is irreplaceable and unerasable." And it's a picture of a somewhat liberal tweet that says, "I've noticed that it's only white Americans who complain about the fecal matter on the streets of San Francisco. White entitlement issues again, whatever." And this Twitter page says, in response to that tweet, "We white people are such racists for not being happy about the prospect of turning America into one huge POC shithole." And for those of you who don't know, POC stands for people of color. So let me read that again. "We white people are such racists for not being happy about the prospect of turning America into one huge people of color shithole." What? What? Oh my god, I gotta stop talking about this. This is just crazy. This is too delusional for me to handle. But yeah, if you want to scroll through all this racist bullshit on Twitter, just look up the page you're at Irreplaceable Ones, or the white race is irreplaceable and unerasable smiley face thumbs up emoji. Well, that concludes the segment that I like to call Delusional People on Twitter. But alright, so that's just about kind of rounds out this episode, this show today. I just want to remind people to feel free to submit videos or pictures or subjects for me to talk about in, whatever way you want to contact me. You can send stuff to me on Twitter or the comment section of YouTube, or however you want to reach me. Also, I wouldn't mind some good instrumentals to play me in and out of the podcast. So, like I said, if you watch this, I appreciate it. That's, the greatest support I could have right now. Just spread the word. If you liked it, go ahead and tell people about it. Let them know. But yeah, just thank you for watching, and have a good day. And I just want to close it out by saying this. As a celebration of Independence Day yesterday, I just want to make sure everyone knows that the reason we celebrate the 4th of July is because the Declaration of Independence was signed on the 4th of July in 1996. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.